Hello everyone and welcome to the June 2022 Glimesh Public Board Meeting. Welcome everyone in, those of you who are watching on Glimesh TV live, and then for those who are following along with the VOD, welcome to you as well. In the past, you are in the future. That's a good place to be. So, for anyone who's new to the board meeting, what we do is we basically cover the past month and then what we're working on kind of for the next month. We say at kind of like a high level, mostly, not focusing on like individual features that we may have launched, but more so like large milestones. If you want to follow along with the small stuff, make sure you follow our Twitter. Make sure you follow the site updates form on Building Glimesh or our Discord site updates. We post all of them there. They have the minute features that we've added and the bug fixes and all that kind of stuff. So that's really where to get that information. This is kind of high level. We talk about business stuff, finances, all kinds of good stuff. If you're new here, please, if you anything you type in chat, anything you say over our voice chat will be transmitted over the internet to Glimesh TV and then recorded and uploaded to YouTube as well. If you don't consent to that, please don't talk. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to run through kind of the text on the screen here. I'm not going to read it verbatim. I'm just going to kind of use it as a framework. If you have any questions as we go, make sure you mention them. If the question's not really related to what we're talking about, we may hold on to it for a little bit. So kind of at the end of the stream, feel free to ask it again if we missed it. So with that, as I was telling Paco a minute ago, it's June. It's officially super hot for some people. I think other people are going into winter, which is weird. But I know here it was like 90 today in Pennsylvania, which is kind of messed up. I know I've had my AC on full blast for the whole day, and even then I feel like terrible using it. But yeah, 96 in Texas. I moved away from Texas for a reason, and the heat was certainly one of the top ones. The only problem with today's weather, 80, 90 is not terrible, but man, we had so much humidity. Let's see here, it was about 50% at that temperature, and now we got thunderstorms going on for the next 2 days, so that'll be fun. So I think June's going to be a pretty awesome month, personally. We've got Rtmp making even more progress. We've got a super charity fundraising month, and then hopefully we're bringing on a new team member. I don't think that'll happen. Maybe that'll happen by the end of June, but right now we're at such an early stage. I don't feel confident in that yet. So to touch on each of those points, Rtmp has kind of been our major feature focus. The last one we had was the mobile app. We wanted to get that out, and we've gotten that released. Now it's on Rtmp. And so we've actually started doing public testing of the Rtmp ingest, and we had about 60 applications or so to help test. We invited the first 33, and then we ran into some issues. We're having some bugs related to video encoding that cause it just to not work. For certain settings, you can have something toggled and your stream won't work at all. And so that's not really a go. We don't want to release anything like that, especially with Rtmp. People are going to be very quick to just save the default settings. We need to make sure that the default settings work. So Rtmp needs a little bit of tweaking. We're going to have to fix whatever video encoding problem that exists. And then we'll actually invite more people and keep testing those. The hardest part about video, is like with a browser, you're using Firefox, Chrome, Safari, or one of the variants that kind of base themselves on those browsers. That's really it. With video, you can encode video using hundreds of different settings and options. And I guess it's the same thing with browsers. People who browse with ad block and it breaks the video player. But either way, we want to make sure that the Rtmp setup is able to at least handle this kind of stuff, the default settings, if you will. And people who throw the Rtmp URL into their restream aren't gonna just immediately be met with the worst stream ever. So that's our goal with Rtmp. Once we've got that main video encoding bug fixed, we'll start sending out more invites. And then as soon as we feel comfortable in it, we'll actually release it out to the public and then OBS afterwards. You can use it in OBS before, but we'll actually push it out to the services list. That way it shows up automatically. All right, so the next thing is that we're actually spending the entirety of this month celebrating Pride Month, and we're calling it Glimesh Community Pride. And it's a full month, the full 30 or 31 days, or 28 days. How many days? 30 days. Full of community streams with great incentives, information panels with members of the LGBT community, and more. It's going to be a Glimesh-wide fundraiser, so we have one donate button that you can contribute to, and we've got the progress tracker right there on the home page. Our goal is to help the Trevor Project charity as much as possible. We want to help them do what they do, which is, extremely critical, essentially public service, if you will, providing counseling and help for people who are who identify as LGBTQ or who have questions about that stuff. And so I think for me, I think they're a really great charity because they provide really someone to talk to when everything is confusing and nobody seems to support you. So I'm excited for that. Now, on the other hand, if you are doing your own charity streams, let's say for the Trevor Project themselves or from any other charity that you want to support, that's totally fine as well. You can definitely stream throughout the month to charities. That's not a big deal. But if you want to take part in our Community Pride event, we are raising for the Trevor Project. Right now, we've got about 13 events ready for the month. Maybe Paco here will talk in a couple of minutes about what some of these events are going to be. We do have a full rundown of them available on our Community Pride pre-show video. And then, of course, on our events page, you can click that, boop, and then you'll see all the Pride events listed down here in order. And this is only a couple. We've got way more coming out. And then we actually gave the homepage a fresh coat of paint. Ramirez actually designed this and put it on Building Glimesh a little while ago. And then I saw it, and Barry saw it, and several other people saw it, and were like, holy shit, this is awesome. And so Barry actually got this put together with Ramirez's help and some others to actually change the homepage entirely to focus on the Community Pride Month, and then kind of take over the top fold, if you will, with this new charity drive. And so I actually just love the colors. I want to figure out once June is over, how do we keep some of these bright colors? I think even on the app page, we've seen like, boom, nice bright colors that kind of like, even though it decides dark mode, these kind of like help make it not seem so cave-like, which, I'm a light mode user, so you got me there. But I actually really like the colors, and I like adding the featured event stream to the top of the page as well. So normally on our homepage, we've got a video that is just one of the random homepage users, but as like a auto-playing video at the top. But whenever we're doing an event, I really want to highlight that event instead. So from now on, we're going to use a component that's similar to this to show off who is ever hosting an event, who's live. And if there's a couple of people all doing events at the same time, it'll actually just randomize, just like the normal homepage. But it'll put your event that you're hosting on Glimesh front and center, which will help bring in traffic to your stream, and at the same time help promote the streamers and the events that people are hosting on the platform. So that's a good change.
Love the look.
Yeah,
It's so good.
yeah, I love it too. Kind of over time, we'll be making the design a lot better than it is because we have real designers now. All right, and then finally, but equally important, we're actually officially starting the search for bringing on a marketing co-founder. And what that means is right now there are essentially three major groups of people who work on Glimesh. There's me, and I officially own the business. There is kind of like our leads team, who are people like Hewa, Hayden, and Paco, who are really just like words of wisdom and advice throughout all the different areas of Glimesh. And then we've got our GCT, and then we've got our community. And one of the things that I want to start doing is figuring out how we start to give more ownership of the company to more people than just myself. We've kind of strayed away from that in the beginning because really the biggest concern was like existing, is developing the platform and launching. But now that we're like growing and we are stable, I want to start exploring what it looks like to give leads some ownership, and the GCT some ownership, and the community some ownership of Glimesh. That way you'll have a real stake in the success of the company. And I want to start out that process by finding what I'm calling a marketing co-founder. Normally the founder title is only used when the business is like starting. But to me, Glimesh is so early that we are still starting. We exist, you can use us, you can stream to us, but we're still at the very beginning of what Glimesh is going to be. And I think if we can find the right person who can help us market, it's going to be a just giant stimulus package for the whole platform where everyone's going to benefit from this. And so the question becomes, how do you reward someone who puts in all of their free time or all of their not free time in helping your platform grow, but you can't pay them anything, right? Because we can't pay anyone anything. And the answer kind of becomes, okay, let's start giving out ownership. So this new marketing role, we're going to call a marketing co-founder. They will own a portion of the business, and then we're going to talk about various ways of paying them with actual money as we grow. So just as an example, this is probably not what we're going to end up doing, but just as an example, if we set up some kind of profit sharing agreement, for the next year, 10 or 20% of the profits of the business go directly into you, the marketing co-founder's hands. Well, then damn, do you have a fucking incentive to grow the platform. Every new user, every new sub that you bring in is money in your pocket, which, is a good kind of exchange for all the hard work that you put in. Now, like I said, we're probably not going to go with something as simple as that, because then we bring into questions of, okay, well, we don't want to just drive profit. So we don't want someone to come in and, raise the sub price and decrease the streamer's cut and whatever. And they wouldn't do that anyway, because I'm still here. I still have a majority ownership. But we don't want them to think like that. We want them to think, hey, how do we grow the platform so our community, our streamers can be successful? Not, hey, how do I grow my wallet? So with all that said, we are officially looking for a marketing co-founder. We're going down this path because we need a leader who will bring experience that we need related to marketing, and who will own the entire process from creating some idea of what Glimesh will be as far as growth, and then being able to deliver that by actually producing materials. And so that's not to diminish the work that the community or the work that I have done to grow Glimesh at all. And this is not replacing that. This is just bringing on someone who can help us, right? Who can actually tell us, hey, this is going to work good. I like this idea. Hey, your idea for this, let's get this going. What do we need to do it? Like, it's someone to help enable us. We have a lot of talent here, and I want to use that talent. And I really believe a marketing co-founder will help us. Like I said, I think Paco actually had a good word for it, like a multiplier, something like that.
I was saying, I'm looking at it like the lens that's going to focus everything.
Yeah, exactly, right, exactly. And so we'll still need help from the community. We'll still need designs done. We'll still need marketing ideas submitted. This is still a group project. We just need that focus. That same direction I bring from development. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if we had that from marketing? And that's kind of the impetus here. All right, so if you're interested in being a marketing co-founder, or you think you have the experience, or you think you know someone who does have the experience or who would like to help out, we actually made it's not really a job posting, but it's basically a job posting that describes Glimesh, what we're looking for, very clearly that we can't pay you right now, how you would work, who you'd work with, what your responsibilities would be. If this sounds like something that's interesting to you or interesting to someone you know, please go ahead and link it to them. It's there. And then in order to apply, just email me. And you can see my email down there. I'm very excited for that. I think what I keep going back to is it's asking a lot of someone to effectively spend time they could be spending getting paid real money to do something for free. But I think at the same time, if we can create the right reward structure, this will be very meaningful for everyone. So, all right. So yeah, like I said last month, like I've been saying every month, marketing is now our number one priority. We're trying to grow. I'll be honest with you, I suck at it. I suck at marketing. I suck at producing campaigns and content. I've got plenty of ideas, but when it comes down to the grindstone, I'm ass at it. So we've already gotten, I think, about 14 applications for marketing co-founder. And I mean, I think to put that in perspective, half of those people probably will not be interested. They were interested the first day and maybe not the second day once they sleep on it. And then for the other half of the people, we just have to start talking with them, interviewing with them, and then kind of whittle it down and make a decision. I think we're very fortunate to have 14 people who want to help. So I'm really excited for our early numbers so far.
Way better than zero.
Way better than zero. That was the concern. All right, so let's talk metrics real quick. I'm assuming no one has any questions so far. So this is our unique streamers peak viewers chart. You can see that it's going up a little bit. I'm just saying.
It's trending upwards.
It's trending upwards. One little divot here, whatever the hell week this was. But it's kind of going on the up and up. Plausible, these are the last 3 months. It's actually funny, you can see the blip of the Pride event starting. Like I said, this blimp here is not going to be normal. It was just one off stream. And then this is last month. You can see we are down about 1,000 unique visitors from April, but our total page views actually went up. And then this is our app. We've got about 1,300 unique visitors per month using the app. That's not going to be a perfect number of like actual unique people, but I think it's a pretty good number. And then we can see down here below for our Apple App Store and Android Play. We're still getting downloads coming in. We're still getting people searching for Glimesh on the App Store and downloading it. And then the number of users is staying pretty consistent, but people are using it less, which is interesting. I think the main reason, I would say that this is probably accurate. The main reason is probably that we have no engagement back into the app. Once you download it and it's on your phone, that's kind of it. You have to open it, you have to think about it. Whereas if you opt into stream notifications when someone goes live, that would bring you back into the app whenever we notify you. Or if you were browsing the web and you clicked on a Glimesh TV link on your phone and it brought you to the app, boom, then you'd have another engagement. So right now, I think we're just not linking to it and using it enough. And since we have no notifications, there's no way for you to come back into the app and even think about it unless you're looking for it specifically. But still a good number of users, and the trend post launch of the app, it does seem pretty standard here. All right, so as far as finances go, it's basically business as usual. We are up in gross subscriptions. We did launch the new gift subs feature. So you can now gift someone in your channel a subscription, or anyone in your channel can gift anyone else a subscription. And that'll last for 1 month. And then the user will have the option to renew that subscription at the end of the month. Right now, we've got no flow for renewal. Like there's no like banner that tells you your sub is expiring. I think one of the next features we'll work on is whenever your sub to a channel is expiring, we'll actually show you like a little warning at the top of chat that says, "Hey, your sub's expiring. Click here to renew," or whatever it is. Streamer payouts are up as well, which is good. Charge fees 148. Connect fee, actually applies for the previous month, 239. And then you can see our total revenue from subscriptions that actually goes to our pocket is $934. We didn't have any merch sales last month. We just have the base Shopify fee. And then infrastructure was $1,092 from DigitalOcean, $60 from Vulture, for a total of $1,217. We paid $271 in recurring services, and then $20 in one-time services. For this month, I actually bought a subscription to Aircast to test out Rtmp with them. And I also did a free trial of Restream, but I think I had to upgrade Restream as well to test the Rtmp restreaming. So those will go away. We're not gonna keep those plans, but I wanted to be able to test that out for the users. So that brings our total income to $2,072, and then the total expenses to $2,677, which brings us into the negative for profit to $605. Stripe balance, you can see there, checking balance, complete balance. So as a reminder too, we did pay for taxes last month. So. All right. That's basically it as far as finances goes, metrics. I know I kind of went fast tonight, but really there's not a whole lot happening right now. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff happening, but there's not a whole lot changing with the finances and the metrics. Again, our biggest goal is marketing right now. I don't expect these numbers to change until we start marketing. So if I run through them, it's just because it's just the same old. Whereas once we start actually, once we bring on that marketing co-founder, we'll actually have specific sections that we talk about relating to like campaigns, how they're doing, how we're bringing people in. I will give them a seat on this board meeting to basically give their perspective, give their metrics, and we'll kind of start to round out what that looks like, and then we'll see revenue go up, and hopefully profit will sneak into the green again. But if it doesn't, that's okay. Like we always say, Glimesh is not going to disappear if we run out of money, because I'm committed personally to Glimesh, and I know. If I put the call out to the community, we would get support. Right now, we don't need it. Don't give us money. Well, sorry, hold on. Always give us money. But right now, we'd prefer if you did gift subs and sub to your friends and make them feel good, and we kind of get a cut along the way, and then use the platform subs. If we get into the future where we run out of money, we don't have anything in the bank, we need to keep paying for the servers, then we'll make a different request to the community. But in the meantime, we're doing perfectly fine. We've got, if we continue on this path, we still have at least 10 months of runway just from what we have in the bank balance. So 10 more months to grow. So as long as you start to grow, we're not going to have an issue. So.
Yeah, and in lieu of giving us money or like trying to find a way to directly give us money aside from subscriptions and everything, if you want to help, talk about us. Go out on social media, other streamers you may know, and try and generate interest. That's the big thing. Don't talk up a big game and tell a bunch of lies and try and trick people into it, but let them know that there are alternatives out there. There is a place that they could check out, and maybe it's not right for them now, but in the future it could be. Every little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the other thing that helps is whenever we're doing campaigns in the future, interacting with them, liking them, all that kind of stuff, that goes a really long way too. I mean, I think we're having this discussion earlier about how like we only market on Twitter, and it was kind of like put into perspective that, oh well, you only market on Twitter, so you can't really grow very much. But then I remembered all of our marketing was Twitter. Whenever we had this peak, this giant, 200,000 unique visitors, that was all through the community on Twitter. That was literally zero paid ads, zero launch campaigns or anything. That was just people liking our shit, sharing our shit on Twitter, and getting other people excited. And I think the excited part goes a long way. If you talk about Glimesh and you're excited about it, and it's genuine, that goes a long way into helping give people the long-term impression that Glimesh is a good place to be. Now, of course, it has to be genuine, so don't go out and say you love it when you don't love it. But yeah. All right, I'm starting to get heat death here. Does anyone have any questions that we can help with during this time? Anyone have any questions about the board meeting? Any questions that are unrelated? While you think about it, I'm going to turn my AC back on. 1 second.
Well, not dying is always preferable.
Alrighty, no questions? That's perfectly all right. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the VOD now. Thank you, everyone on YouTube, for watching. Thank you, everyone on the stream, for being here. Have a good night.